So, Patrick Marleau, 500 goals. So now the question becomes one of, is Patrick Marleau a Hall of Famer? Is he not a Hall of Famer? And it's an interesting debate to have because it's not like he's been an all-star every year. It's not like he has ever scored 50 goals. Never got 100 points. And there have been numerous rumors over the years he's going to get traded, that he's part of the problem, that his playoff appearances and his efforts leave something to be desired. There's always been something negative said about Marleau anytime something positive said about him. But you know what? I did this with Henrik Sedin. I'm going to do this with Marleau. See, I'm not a Sharks fan, and I'm not telling tales out of school by saying it. People know I'm not a Sharks fan. But the thing is, I recognize when something happens that is epic. 500 goals is epic. I don't care how you get there. Patrick Marleau, his rookie season had 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points. In his second season, he had 21 goals, 24 points, 45 games. Going into his third season, he was 20 years old. So that was the first problem. San Jose rushed him to the NHL. So his totals weren't great the first couple years, but he was rushed. A look back, Marleau established himself quickly in only his second season. He played as well as any teenager could be expected to on an ultra defensive team. That's the other thing too. I think this was Kevin Constantine was the coach. Look ahead. The 6'2", 200-pounder has great hands and deceptive speed. Projected role, Marleau will be the first line for many seasons to come. The Marleau-Friesen combo will become a goalie's worst nightmare in no time. Friesen being Jeff Friesen. Let me just double check on that. Coach listed. Coach listed. Come on, guys. Get with the program. I thought the coach was listed in these things. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was Constantine. Actually, it'll probably be in the summary. Suter, Don Foose. Oh, Coach Daryl Sutter. So there you go. Daryl Sutter was the coach. But again, offense, not really his forte in San Jose. And now go the following year. Marleau. Patrick Marleau. In 99-2000, he actually had 40 points. So his point totals dropped. The 1997 second overall selection hasn't lived up to expectations. A healthy scratch for the last game of the regular season after playing in the first 81 contests. He must add emotion and a sense of urgency to his game. Booyah. 2001, 2002. This is the one that's in a funky order, right? Yeah, they don't put them all in alphabetical order, because of course not. Why would you do that? That's crazy. Why make it easier for me to find everybody? Just make it more difficult. Patrick Marleau. That season he ended up with 52 points. The young center is finally showing some signs of consistency. This is after 4 years in the NHL, which has kept him from becoming one of the game's best young offensive players. Marleau is the total package and is just beginning to blossom. He's receiving ice time in all situations and finished second in team scoring last season with 52 points. The speedster has terrific hockey sense and can either set the table for his line mates or finish himself. Great hands. He has size and strength, but still needs to display more aggression. All indications point to a big year from the 22-year-old. Marleau's best days are ahead of him. At 22 years of age, he had already played 317 games in the NHL. So when you look at these stats and you go, well, he played a ton of games to get to 500 goals. Yeah, he was in the NHL far too early. I often wondered with him if that's what held him back. Patrick Marleau. In 01-02, he actually had 44 points, so he dropped again. In his fifth year, he dropped from 52 to 44 points in a season. He had 21 goals. Through 5 years, he had 97 goals in the NHL. Marleau broke through at the end of what was shaping up to be another disappointing season, especially in the playoffs. If he continues that momentum, he'll have a big point jump. And they projected him for 63 points. Because again, all you do with young players is project their point totals are going to go up, because of course they will. We're going to go through and find Marleau again. This is just season after season, boys and girls. It's just going through each season. Marleau, his sixth season, he did score 28 goals. He did have 57 points. So through 6 years, he had 125 goals. Marleau won't have a great supporting cast in San Jose this year, so he's going to have to be a main cog on offense. Expect his offensive numbers to continue upward. No, this is the 04-05 book. This is the year that didn't exist. So I've told this before, the only magazine that I have from the season that got wiped out is this one. And I only bought it because, yeah, right up in the corner. Lockout protected. Lockout protected. We knew there was a lockout coming. We knew there wasn't going to be a season, so I didn't really bother with any magazines except this one. San Jose. In some magazines, San Jose is listed alphabetically ahead of St. Louis. In others, it's not. It depends whether or not you consider St. Louis to be S-A-I-N-T or S-T period. Patrick Marleau, when it's all said and done, don't be surprised if he's a Hall of Famer. He's a 7-year NHL veteran at age 24. And he had 57 points that year. Sharks captain Patrick Marleau posted 28 goals, 57 points, numbers that were identical to his regular season from 02-03. So there's another year. He continues his upward trajectory of sorts. But he still, hasn't even got to a point a game. He hasn't even got close. And at this point, he was still considered somewhat of a disappointment. Now we're up to 05-06. And again, I have to go with the NHL book. I wasn't able to find the other one. So the following season, Patrick Marleau finished with 57 points. Oh no, that's right. This is coming out of the lockout. So the 57 points was the same. I don't think he played overseas during the year that they were off. It doesn't list it here, or does it? Yeah, Marleau didn't play. He didn't play during the lockout season. So there was no way of knowing whether or not he would continue to take that step forward. So let's get back to points. Patrick Marleau. Woo! Okay, I can't do that. Patrick Marleau, coming out of the lockout, he had 86 points in 82 games, so the season off did him some good. He had 34 goals and 52 assists. Marleau finally has the best of both worlds. He's no longer depended upon as the man, and he gets to play with the man on the power play. The power play man that he's playing with was, of course, Joe Thornton, because Boston decided trading Thornton was a good move, and honestly, even now looking back, it was a good move. So again, we're looking for Marleau. We are up to 07-08. Patrick Marleau, at the age of 28, has already played 717 games in the NHL. He had 78 points the following season. Marleau's best seasons are the past two. It's no coincidence Joe Thornton has been in San Jose during that time. They play together on a potent power play. So the Thornton-Marleau connection has been a thing for 10 years. They are one of the longest serving duos in hockey. Let's look at the following season. And again, I do it this way because, yeah, I can look stuff up online, but you get that look at how it was in that season. Marleau had 48 points the following season. After a terrible season, Marleau is more likely to go up than down, especially under new coach Todd McLellan. If he's traded, as is often rumored, the odds of a point rebound further increase. This is in 2008. If he is traded, as is often rumored. So when you hear about Marleau and trade rumors, that's been going on for 9 years. And it's in here for 9 years. Believe me, before that, before the lockout, there were people saying, oh, he's never going to develop in San Jose. He needs to be moved. He needs a fresh start. Yeah, that 48-point season, that was pretty miserable. 2009, 2010. Patrick Marleau. Remember, this is a 500 goal scorer. I'm trying to give you an example here. So he had 71 points in 76 games following season. And they say, great comeback season, but why did he need it in the first place? If you're such a good player, why do you need a comeback season? Well, he's played 871 games, and he's only 30 years old at this point. So when people talk about how many games he played before he got his 500th goal, they're crazy. He played more games before he was 21 than a lot of players play in their career. And like I said, I didn't think it helped him. The following season, he had 83 points in 82 games. He's had more than 30 goals and 70 points 3 of the past 5 seasons. So at this point, he's starting to be viewed as a really good player. 31 years of age, played 953 games, 320 goals. So getting there. The goals started coming, and because he played as a kid and he got goals those seasons, not a lot of goals, those goals still count. Gets him closer to 500 by doing that. Okay, we are up to 11-12. So the season after Boston broke Vancouver's hearts. Patrick Marleau, in five of the past 6 seasons, he's had more than 30 goals and 70 points. So he had 73 points the following season, 37 goals. Notice only one 40-goal season so far. I think what gets me with Marleau more than anything else is that all he's done is just play consistently. He had the one down season with the 48 points, but that was an aberration, and I admit I wrote him off. I was like, that's it for Marleau. He's done. The thing with Marleau is his speed. Once it kind of became an issue, there were a lot of rumors that he was done. The following season, 11-12, he had 64 points. It says double figures in power play goals in 6 of 7 seasons since the lockout. He's very good on the power play. Marleau is a beast on the power play, as most 500 goal scorers are, like Dino Ciccarelli, Dave Andreychuk. Andreychuk being a guy who I'm pretty sure isn't in the Hall of Fame, but he should be. For a lot of the same reasons that I would say Marleau belongs in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Marleau, the following season, had 17 goals and 14 assists, 31 points in 48 games. That's the lockout shortened season. Hard to believe he's 34. Age is becoming part of the equation. So this is coming out of the lockout. They're like, getting old. It's getting old. It's 34. That doesn't make me feel old at all. Marleau. Patrick Marleau. 70 points. So 33 goals, 70 points. Sign of decline is fewer shots. At 35, he set a career high and scored 33 goals. So they go, hey, yeah, he got 33 goals, and he got 70 points, played 20 minutes a game. That's a pretty good total. But there's a sign of decline because he's shooting less. There's times where a player will shoot less because they're waiting for the right shot. And sometimes it works great, and sometimes it doesn't. But in the case of a guy who's a 400-plus goal scorer, waiting for the right shot can lead to a higher shooting percentage, and it can make a goalie respect your shot more. You see that shooting percentage, go, wow, when he shoots. So you're gonna cheat a little more over when he's got the puck, and then he can pass it and get an assist. The following season, we're almost up to the current everyday Marleau totals here. 57 points in 14-15. Hasn't missed a game in 6 years, but at 36, he's missing the score sheet. Best years are behind him. He had 456 goals at this point. 16-17. Again, best years are behind him. Patrick Marleau, 48 points, 25 goals last year. The points are dropping dramatically, but not off the map. He's got another season at 37 and is still a key power play member. So, let's take a look. I apologize for ducking out of the way here, but let me just go ahead and because of course they're saying, he's done. He's done. Stats are just everything's gone south. He's done. It's over. He's done. And so far this season, he has 19 goals in 52 games. He's only got 28 points, but 19 goals. And basically what he did was he rattled off all kinds of goals to get that 500 because he didn't want to have to wait on it. He didn't want the 500 goals to become an ongoing storyline, to become a problem. Marleau knows what he needs to do, and he knows how to do it. Marleau has a complete game. Again, he's not as fast as he was when he was 22, but which of us are? I respect his game. And I think it's suitable that he hits 500 goals so soon after Henrik Sedin hit 1,000 points because the respect to Marleau hasn't been as high as I think he deserves. I think he's a very good player, but because it's taken 20 years for him to get that 500 goals, it's easy to kind of shrug it off and go, yeah, he got 500, but look how many games it took. I remember, and I don't know if I've told this story before on this channel, but I remember going into a hockey card store in the early 90s, and I saw a Bobby Smith rookie card, and I bought it. And I was like, what are you buying that for? And I said, Bobby Smith just scored his 1,000th point last week. He goes, yeah, but how many games did it take him? I said, it doesn't matter. He scored 1,000 points. So I came up with a Bobby Smith card. I think I paid $5 for it. I don't care what it's worth. He scored 1,000 points. It was a rookie card from 1979. There's a lack of respect shown to guys that have been in the league for a very long time. And maybe that's part of the reason that I look at Marleau and Thornton, and as much as I dislike the Sharks and I want to really dislike Thornton and Marleau, I see a kinship of them with the Sedins. Criticized for playoffs, criticized for not being fast enough. And I've heard criticism of Thornton and Marleau as opposed to the Sedins in terms of their soft play. They don't show up in the playoffs. They're not good enough. I've heard it on that side too. So for San Jose fans, I will say this. There's a kinship between the two. Uh, Thornton and Marleau went to the final last year and lost. The Sedins did it in 2011. And there's that same, if they're going to win, they got to dump these guys, even though nobody seems to have a plan for who to replace them with. Thomas Hertl was viewed as the guy. It didn't quite work out. Hertl's a good player, but he's not Marleau Thornton level. So here's the question I ask you guys. I've gone year by year by year through Marleau's career. I believe he's only been in one All-Star game in his 20-year career. He's never been an NHL All-Star at the end of the year, so he's never been a first or second team All-Star. Does Patrick Marleau belong in the Hall of Fame? And if so, argue why. Does and if tenure qualifies, then I personally think it's odd that Dave Andreychuk never made it, because all Andreychuk did was score goals every year, and he was tremendously talented at it, and he was deadly on the power play. So it's one of those things that sort of bothered me for a long time. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're just browsing your way through. And again, this is sort of an olive branch to this team here and its fans. Marleau, I think, deserves respect for having gone through the last 10 years of his career with trade speculation at almost every deadline, questions of his heart, questions of his talent, questions of whether or not he's ever become what he was supposed to be when he was drafted #2 overall back in '97. And it seems to get ignored now that he came into the league as a teenager and played a regular spot on a team that wasn't very good when he got there. San Jose had never had a winning season when he started playing for them. So what the Sharks are now compared to what the Sharks were then, it's night and day. So again, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I will be back again later with further material for you guys. I'll be talking about stuff going on right now. I've also found some magazines in and among my magazines that talk about the greatest of all time, and I believe they're different than the top 100 the NHL announced last week, which is odd, isn't it? So I may get into that as well. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all again soon.